we all have different life lessons and things that we've been through and stuff. And, you know, it has its own section on YouTube again. What would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever had?
This is really interesting. The best piece of advice I think I ever had. I'm a big Terry Pratchett fan. I don't know. Do you read any Pratchett?
I don't, but I know who he is.
I'm a big Pratchett fan. And there's a quote that I used to have on my wall at work. And the quote was, it was between an older witch talking to a young girl. And the older witch said, so if you follow your dreams and you wish on a star, then you'll still be beaten by other people who worked far harder than you. And it's one of those things like whenever, you know, sort of my response has always been to come out fighting. I might not be the smartest person in the room, I might not be the brightest person in the room, whatever, but you know what, I'll work the hardest. And I think that's one of the reasons why, because I've always thought, you know what, if you put the work in, you can get wherever you want. So that would definitely, it wasn't necessarily advice, but it's one of those quotes that just, it's always like stuck with me. Does that make sense?
I think it's ace, but it's true. Like when I was doing my PhD, you see so many people that are smart people, but they're lazy. And it's just, I don't care what the person that had the cleaning business right at the start of the interview, if you work hard and you work on yourself and you do stuff, you can do really, really well. I think people often don't have the ambition or they don't quite have the tools to do it, but actually just hard work will get you 80% of the way there. Because the other thing as well is that with the hard work goes into things like when people decide to do a podcast or a live stream or whatever. And the other thing that I think is really interesting, especially now with social media, people will notice, even if they don't interact and don't comment on the stream, they'll see, oh, I've seen Victoria's post. You've said that's where your clients come from. But the hard work and the hustle, although people might not interact now, they're seeing it. And whether they admit it or not, they respect it because they know how hard it is. And I think it shows, but actually the fact that we're even talking means that, yes, I saw you speak at an event. I thought it was really good. But actually you've stayed on my radar because you've kept hustling, you've kept working. And anyone that's into this kind of stuff will respect that because it's not easy. Again, the reason it's not easy is because hardly anyone does it because it's really fucking hard to do. But I think that it shows great character traits that, again, if you're a new startup SaaS founder and you're looking for someone to work with, you're going to want to work with the person that has the work ethic that you want. And it's always, anyone can say, oh yeah, I work hard. But if you can prove it and prove it for the past 7-10 years, you can't fake that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think even as an employee, it was always my USP. But you see, interestingly, I think the other thing is that the one thing that I would say is probably changed as an entrepreneur a little bit has been that I really try and question, is this the smartest way of doing it? You know, working hard is great, but equally, is this the smartest way? And I think that that's definitely something that I don't think I ever really did as an employee. I just would keep like doing the work. Whereas I think like when you've got your own business, I think, you know, you do reflect and think, look, is this the best way this could be done? And, you know, is there a better way? Is there a more time effective way? Or is there, you know, somebody else I can use to help free up my time and get me there faster, you know? And I think that's been an interesting development of that approach kind of thing, you know?
If you were to give advice to your younger self, and it could be at school when you're growing up, or, you know, when you started the business first time or whatever, what would it be?
And I honestly think trust your gut. And that sounds, again, you know, we talk about cliches. People say, oh, it's such a cliche that. But you know what? Some of that is about confidence. It's about having the confidence to trust your gut. Every single time I've been burnt by something, I've known. I knew before the event. I've known in my gut that, you know, maybe that client, there was something a bit off with them, or, you know, maybe in this role there was something that I didn't quite like as much as I should, or there's someone I wasn't quite clicking with. And every single time I've been right. I mean, I don't know, you've probably had the same experience, but I think especially when you're new into something or you haven't got as much confidence because it's new, you suddenly start to dismiss your gut. And actually 99.9999999. In fact, I couldn't tell you what a time mine's been wrong. I don't know about you.
Completely same. See, you're like an improv comedian where it's always and next. And so this is great for an interview, but this is why we're on an hour and 20, because it's some people are a nightmare. So they give you a one line answer and just doof dead. And you're like, this could go on for 3 hours. It could actually go on for 17 hours. But no, I do completely agree, because one of the things I'm getting more into, ironically, is sleep. Just because like we don't have kids or anything, so it's almost but we're very regimented going to bed at like 8-9 o'clock, just making sure the next morning we get up like really super early, that you're nice and refreshed and stuff, and I can get a few hours work done before everyone else even like kind of wakes up. But I was researching more about sleep, and basically in different levels of your NREM sleep is what it's called, you process all your thoughts and emotions and stuff. And I think a lot of your gut feel is non-conscious thought, but it's still you advising you on stuff. So I tend to get a lot of my best ideas when I'm out running. And in the same way that some people meditate and they have a mantra, which is basically just a repeatable action, that through thinking about the action, you concentrate on that, your subconscious then processes stuff. For me, when I'm running and I just want to die, because I'm running, thinking about next step and just breathing, that's when I do my best ideas. But it's almost the same thing. But all of that is your gut feel. And it's you thinking about what should you do. And again, like a superpower to get better at performance and cognitive ability, get more sleep. It's been proven.
And that's really interesting, because one of the things that I do with sleep as well is if you ask yourself the question before you go to sleep, and quite often you'll wake up in the morning with the answer, but you're almost sort of programming your brain to like, okay, this is what I want you to work on, like while I'm asleep and not working. And it's amazing how that's really worked for me at times in the past. I think our brain's just really powerful, and I don't really think we've scratched the surface on it, to be honest with you.
This is the whole of the conversation.